I can't breathe. I can't breathe. George Floyd's last words, but they didn't die with him.
Joe Biden weighs in on the death of George Floyd and the resulting protests. This is your 2020 fix. The response to the protests following the death of George Floyd from President Trump and his 2020 rival Joe Biden have been incredibly different, although focused on some of the same voters. President Trump's success in 2016 was in part attributed to white evangelicals.
The evangelicals have been unbelievable to Donald Trump.
Therefore, it was no surprise that one of his first responses to the protests after giving a speech in the Rose Garden was to go before a church holding a Bible after police officers tear-gassed innocent protesters outside of the White House. The president communicated to many of his faith supporters that he had the moral leadership and abilities to lead a nation in crisis.
You got to get people to agree how to move forward.
On the same day that President Trump stood before a church for a photo op, former Vice President Joe Biden met with community leaders at a historically Black church in Wilmington, Delaware. He discussed criminal justice reform, listened to voters' concerns about how his past support for policies has led to racial tension between Black communities and law enforcement, and also discussed what he could do better than President Trump if elected to the White House.
The president's words to take a nation to war, bring peace, as a mark of up and down, bring justice, whatever. But the words matter. No matter who they are.
Joe Biden's meeting with this community was significant because it is due in part to Black voters, specifically Black church-going voters in South Carolina, that resurrected the Joe Biden campaign. The foundation of his campaign has been that he alone has the moral ability to lead America into a direction away from the racial divisions that he believes that Donald Trump has stoked.
And you have to dominate the streets. You can't let what's happening happen.
As much criticism as President Trump has received for responding to the protests with a law and order approach, the reality is this messaging has been incredibly effective for him in the past.
We will be a country of generosity and warmth, but we will also be a country of law and order.
Biden, who's already leading the race with Black voters, is hoping that his response will further solidify his support with the influential demographic.
George Floyd's last words, I can't breathe. I can't breathe, have echoed all across this nation and quite frankly around the world.